Crevonte, baby, the draft is days away, but we're still working and pushing out those profiles, highlighting these wonderful prospects.
Indeed, indeed. We're coming down the home stretch, brother. Let's get this thing going.
Yes, sir. No man I'd rather be with than you, my brother. We're back at it again. Today we're taking a look at our only tight end, Brock Bowers, Crevonte, a guy we've seen since his freshman year, kind of just stand out from the rest.
Indeed, indeed. And he's been with a program that's really been standing out, from the rest, with as a Georgia Bulldog. So we've known his brother for a little bit, and he's been under the big lights for a little bit.
Yes, 6'3", 32 and 3/4 inch arms, 9 and 3/4 inch hands, 243 pounds. He's a junior from Napa, California. 2021, he was second team All American and won the top freshman award, All SEC Freshman of the Year, 56 receptions, 882 yards, 13 touchdowns, 15 games with 13 starts. 2022, second team All American, first team All SEC, won the Mackey Award, top tight end, 63 receptions, 942 yards, 7 touchdowns. And 2023 won the Mackey Award again, 56 receptions, 714 yards. He did have an injury, 4 games with an ankle injury. And his father was a two-time All Big West Conference center at Utah, and his mother was an All-American softball player at Utah State. George Kittle, Cravante. This brother may break into that top 10 when we get that run on quarterbacks, we get that run on some of these receivers. He may slide in there with some of these playmakers in the top 10. A lot of offense looks like it's going to be going early on.
Again, we talked about it before. The draft, this draft is going to be heavy on offense, and that's quarterback, um, linemen, and I'll just say playmakers, because it's not just wide receivers. Because Brock Bowers, he can go top 10 for real. So I think Brock Bowers will probably be the only, well, Brock Bowers, and I think Dallas Turner probably be the ones that are like the odd men out, out away from everybody else, because it's gonna be a lot of linemen. It's gonna be quite a few linemen, wide receivers, and quarterbacks in that top 15. And I think Brock Bowers is gonna find his way up in it, because I mean, he looks like a tight end. And we're going a little bit out of order, but he looks like a tight end that we know very well, that plays for the 49ers, in George Kittle. But let's get into a couple of his strengths. Very capable of getting to his top speed very, very, very quickly. Talent was the one thing we love. If he's going to be a weapon, talent, very talented at beating man coverage, especially against linebackers at the next level. Great hands, hands catcher. Operating good coordination and technique, and very, very, very quickness, good route running. Now, the route running is one of those things that we really don't look for, that we don't look at too much as a tight end, because he's kind of already in the middle of the field, but he does pretty good at that as well. Um, very elite at the route running section. So, um, too fast, pretty much too fast for linebackers, and and above average size when it comes to the smaller DBs.
Any weaknesses? I know you mentioned a George Kittle. I like that comparison. I even maybe see even a little bit of maybe not as big, a little Kronk even if you want to go back a little bit. What do you think about Bowers, man? He's one of those guys you can really line up anywhere. Underrated blocker, I think too. Any weaknesses in this game?
Um, Probably a little bit undersized at the tight end position. But I think he'll fit right in, because low key everybody's getting a lot smaller. And they're still big, still strong, still fast, but guys are slimming down. D ends are not, well, they're not even really D ends anymore. They call them edge now. So they're not as big anymore. But so him being a little undersized probably isn't that big of a deal. Also, usually when the tight end is this good in the passing game, he's not that great in the running game. So he's probably average in the run game, and what as a run blocker. But now that is one thing that George Kittle loves to do. So we'll see how much Brock Bowers loves to do that at the next level.
Now I keep hearing the Jets at 10.
I
Where
same
he could
same.
go. It looks like the Jets are going all in. I mean, they got what Mike Williams, of course, Garrett Wilson, your boy from the Ohio State, and Rodgers should be
Yep.
back healthy. They traded for Morgan Moses from the Ravens to bolster the offensive line. Signed Tyron Smith. I think that's a good spot for him if he was to go there. Because with the Bills looking like they're on the decline a little bit, we don't really know what Miami's going to be. The Patriots are kind of rebuilding. I mean, it could be an opportunity for the Jets to make a run at maybe that division.
So I'm hearing a lot about the Chargers trading down. The Chargers are currently at 5, and they're getting a lot of calls for that fifth pick. I'm thinking wherever they go to, Brock Bowers is a good chance that he can fall to them. I think the highest Brock Bowers does go, it would be the Jets at 10. He possibly could sneak in like with the Giants or something like that, but I think that would be absurd for the Giants to pick him that high. He's worth the talent. He's worth the pick, but I just thought the Giants have so many holes, and tight end is kind of a luxury pick because you don't really necessarily need a tight end, but because of the value of that position. But that's more of a luxury pick. But that's why I like the Chargers. The Chargers with that pick, but the Jets, he has the highest. I think he will go is 10th. The Jets, if the Jets stay there, because they have weapons. They have weapons all over the place, and getting the offensive line together, which they're, it's some patchwork. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to set this offense off, get Brock Bowers at 10 would be crazy. And if they don't pick him at 10, let's say the Chargers trade with like the Vikings or the Broncos or something like that, which only puts them at 11, 12. Let's say Raiders 13. Brock Bowers, I think, is still going top 15. So in a wild way, he can still fall to the Chargers. And I just think that's a Jim Harbaugh type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he looks like Jim Harbaugh. That's somebody that Jim Harbaugh would love, and I think that's somebody Justin Herbert would love. Losing, two two of his top wide receivers, replacing with a tight end, wouldn't be a bad idea.
And they're building a lot of their offense kind of like the Ravens. They got Giro over there. They got a lot of former Ravens players. So it's look like they want to run the football and use the tight ends. We know Greg Roman love throwing to the tight ends. What's the quarterback's best friend? A tight end. So it would be a match made in heaven. And you got a pretty good other tight end out in the AFC West. Travis Kelsey. Maybe we could see a little Kelsey in this game as well. So it'd be interesting to see him out there in the AFC West or in possibly New York, because we know the expectations are high there. Anything else from Brock Bowers? He is a winner. That's always good.
Yes, so he's going to bring that winning mentality, and hopefully for Brock Bowers, he doesn't go to a situation where it's a toxic environment. And we talked about one where he can go to the Jets potentially, but I think he will be very, very productive and productive early, no matter where he goes.
Brock Bowers, he could be one of the best offensive playmakers in this draft. As we'll get a run, he will be the number one tight end taken. And let's see where he goes. And Crevonte, of course, it's the only place giving you those draft profiles how you want it.
When you need it.
We're slowly getting to the finish line as the draft is just days away, Crevonte. And we'll be live, brother. I know you're excited, brother.
Can't wait. I can't wait. My team should be picking within that hour or so. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but they should be picking within that first hour because it's a foregone conclusion that we know who's going number one. So the draft really starts at number two. We're hearing some stuff about the Jada Daniels thing, but I think that's still the pick.
We'll see what the pick is, but as always, we pick the flex zone number one right here, and we'll be back with more draft profiles.